For the longest time period, I had the problem of like not being able to focus properly. Whenever I sat down, I just couldn't sit down and maybe it's like reading, doing work or doing homework or like whatever it is. I couldn't sit down and work for more than 30 minutes without like getting distracted without, I would get distracted within the first 5 minutes actually. And I would feel like out of motivation within the first 30 minutes. It was such a crazy experience for me that I actually accepted that as a normal part of my life, and I thought like this is how people lived until I actually made the changes that I'm going to explain all the way through the in the video. Uh, so before that, I want to get to you like I want to tell you how exactly I came to discover this exact problem that I had, which was like not being able to focus. The main reason was mental fog, and I will tell you how exactly you can like completely banish mental fog from your life. And if you are having, I will tell you why you are having it. You can clearly identify what's making you foggy mentally, what's like making you lose motivations, and so many other things. So the first things first, this video is going to be a value bomb. I would definitely appreciate if you take notes, because at the end of the day, I just don't want you to just watch the video. I want you to actually apply what I say and see the changes for yourself in your life, like it helped for myself. But yeah, so jumping into it, this is going to be the most important video you'll see, because having a being able to focus for 6, 8, 9, 10 hours is a superpower. It's a literal superpower. Um, First things first, unstructured video, so I'll just say whatever comes to my mind. But yeah, first things first, let's get into the story of how I actually, it's a quick story. I will tell you how I exactly figured out that I have mental fog. So this was the time when I was addicted to gaming, which was like Rainbow Six Siege, and I would turn on the game every day for around evenings and play till like early morning, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., something like that. And I noticed like every time I ate like a really heavy dinner, I would miss my shots. Like in the sense, like after I'm done eating the dinner, I would not be able to perform as well in the game. And it's like it started with a hint of like why is this happening to like okay, because I'm having a heavy dinner, I'm missing my shots. That means the heavy dinner is like slowing down my brain. It just literally felt my brains were like churning in mud basically. I couldn't think properly. I couldn't like hold sentences properly. Yes, I could talk to people, but like I couldn't like perform at my best in the game. Uh, and you can relate it properly to your work or whatever it is that you are trying to focus in, and you cannot focus because your brain is just not giving you the full power, and you probably are addicted to caffeine because of that, right? And that is not the way to go. Like without caffeine, I can easily focus for 10 hours. Not needed. Like caffeine helps a little, but it's is not needed at all. And I'll show you how. Uh, so like I said, after a heavy dinner, my brain started to you know not work that good. So what I realized after going down a rabbit hole is that every time we eat a dinner that is heavy, our not just brain, yeah, our brain body basically puts a lot of energy into digesting that food, and that means you have a limited amount of energy. And if a lot of energy is going into digesting the food, guess what happens? You don't have enough energy to actually focus to perform your thoughts. Like your brain itself needs a lot of energy, and if it doesn't have energy, it will not perform at its 100%, right? And that is very important for you to understand. So the first things first is you need to identify what is exactly making you identify the things in your diet that is making you mentally foggy. So every time, let's say you eat, let's say something heavy, just notice your focus. Like after eating the meal, not right away, but like after like a half an hour to an hour, are you feeling less focused? Are you feeling less motivated? What is happening, right? There are foods that will make you more focused and more motivated, and there are foods that won't. So it's very easy. It like requires self discipline in the sense like you have to cut out the foods that taste really good but don't give you motivation, right? If you want to work for 4 hours right now, that's eating a meal that is really heavy makes sense, even though it tastes really good. That means there are trade-offs to everything. If you are choosing that meal, that means you are not choosing to work on your fullest 100% of your capabilities, right? You are always choosing something, one or the other, and that is something very important that you need to realize. Once you identify by looking at the like general patterns of what is making you slow mentally, you have to cut it out. And if you like don't want to spend a week to identify what is making you slow, you can easily like look up low inflammatory diets. Look up Dave Asprey and like any research on like cut out any food that causes inflammation. Cut out any food and just focus on food that barely like increases inflammations. Oats would be a good one. It doesn't taste good. I had oats for a long time during lunch, only because I wanted to work focus for the next 4 hours, and I didn't want my lunch to slow my mental powers down. So like yeah, cut out a lot of things that don't like empower you. Add a lot of protein. Cut out not just completely, but you need to cut out a lot of carbs, add protein, eat fats like healthy fats early on in the day. I would definitely recommend you to look into dieting from like on YouTube. Just look up Dave Asprey inflammatory diets. I can't even pronounce, but yeah, look those up. Cut out fix your diet first, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is fix your sleep, which is sleep for 8 hours in okay, the next few steps for sleep might sound very minor, and it might sound like you doesn't apply to you, but I have personally tried this out, like split tested it over months, and I saw like major difference, and I definitely recommend you to try it, since it like costs little to nothing in actually doing these things. First thing is sleep in a pitch black room, like completely dark room. If you are sleeping in the mornings, if your sleep schedule is like that, make sure you completely shut down all the windows there, so there's no rooms. Even if it's like your phone blinking, anything like it's a charger phone or any light in the room, even just the slightest bit, turn it off, cut it out, put it in another room. Cut out any lights. Second thing, cut out any sound. Sounds are very important in the sense like our brain is already like, to give you an example why this is important, like both the sound and like lights, and a third thing I'm going to cover. Why is this important in the sense like our brains are like reptile brains, as you know, we evolved in a place that was very dangerous for us. So if we lived in the forest, we needed to be aware even in our sleep. Like if we were sleeping and you heard like a lion 5 miles away like growling, you better believe your brain is gonna wake you the fuck up. It's gonna wake you up. It's gonna put you in fight or flight response, and you're gonna run away. That is what is going to happen. Now the thing is, we are not in those dangerous times, and our brain cannot tell the difference. So it's very important. The brain doesn't think there is any stimuli that is like lion. I'm not saying it's gonna be a lion. Like being having an extra light is like a lion, but your brain is constantly monitoring any stimuli that comes in. So if it doesn't have any stimuli, it doesn't monitor it, and if it doesn't monitor, that means it is not spending extra energy while you're sleeping. So if you search, that's why I'm using like black curtains, like shut everything down. I also have an eye sleep mask that I put on while sleeping. I also have earbuds on my cupboard. I don't know if you can see somewhere around. Okay, whatever. I have earbuds that I put on while I'm sleeping. So like there is literally no sound that is going in. There is no side like light that is going in my eyes. Cut everything out. Then the third thing is make sure you are in sleeping in a closed off environment. So that means close your room off. Once your brain knows that you are in a completely safe environment, even if that means like locking your doors, like both your doors, even if you are in a big apartment, lock your main door, lock your room door. So like if your brain knows you are in a completely safe environment, it will not even allocate any of its resources towards like protecting you while you're sleeping, especially if you are alone, right? That is very important. Once you do that, like your brain will not spend any extra energy while you're sleeping. That means your sleep will be through the roof. uh, and sleep for at least, please, at least 8 hours. Like 7 to 8 hours is minimum. Even if you are okay, like completely okay with 6 hours, sleep for 8 hours. There have been tons and tons of studies on it. Those extra 2 hours are not going to kill your work life productivity or anything, but it will definitely add on to your energy. It will give you more energy. It will give you more performance throughout the day. And if you think like you are different from every other human being, if your biology is different from every other human being, and you're okay, like like everyone can survive on 6 hours. That is not the issue. The thing is like you will not perform at your 100%. You will not be able to notice it consciously, but you will not be able to perform at your 100%, and that is very important. If you want to do the stuff that like the elite do, you need to sleep for 8 hours at least, right? No more than 8 hours though. Don't end up sleeping for 9, 10, 11 hours. That is much more harmful. But yeah, do account for the time it takes for you to fall in sleep, whatever. So that's important. What is this video on? I think it's like mental fog, right? But yeah, this is what happens when you make unstructured videos. But yeah, completely fix your sleep. There's another thing though. I wake up a lot of times. I used to. Now maybe a few times, but I used to wake up a lot of times just to piss before going to sleep. Right? If you are someone with a small bladder like me, you might end up waking a lot of times just to piss. And the easiest solution is to not drink water, or like limit how much water you're drinking at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to your bed. And that is completely fine. That is completely awesome. Just drink more water when you wake up. But if you drink a lot of water before you go to sleep, your body is going to like process the water out, and it's going to wake you up while you are sleeping just to make you piss, and that is interrupting your sleep basically. Yeah. They drink less water, but if you still have the problem, like if you take a lot of creatine and like not a lot of like, if you take creatine a lot of water, you still have the problem. I would recommend you to try like salt caps. Those are like tablets that come with salt, and once you have it in the evening or even at the night, your body, when it gets excess salt, it holds the water. That means it will try to hold the water for longer than it's needed. That means it will hold the water while you're sleeping. That means you will not wake up to piss. Basically, you can try those out. I have tried those out. This is a mixed opinion on that. Like it has worked a lot, great for some of my friends, not so much for others. But yeah, try those out. So basically, sleep is fixed. Oh yeah, turn off any screens 1 hour before you go to sleep. Turn off everything. I do that. Turn off. Like it might not seem like a big deal. Turn it off and start reading. I know this looks like a screen, but it's paper lit, backlit, so it doesn't really make any difference. But I start reading, and I also have like blue light blockers. I don't know where it is. Put on some blue light blockers. Those barely cost like $5. It's the glasses you can put on that blocks out blue light. Put those on in the evenings after 7 p.m. or whatever, like at least 5 hours before you go to sleep, 5 to 6 hours before you go to sleep. Yeah, start reading books. Let's say 30 minutes before you go to sleep, whatever. I would recommend you to read fiction. I've been reading like Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. But yeah, start reading fiction. I've noticed a considerable difference in when I start reading fiction before I go to sleep. When I imagine those like images in my mind while I'm reading, I have really vivid dreams, like really vivid dreams. The difference is crazy. You should start. You should try it out. And the next thing is like take magnesium supplement, at least like 200 grams. 200 grams is pretty fine amount. I take that. Not every day though. Whenever I feel like it. There's no set amount, but whenever I have magnesium supplements, I also have really vivid dreams. It does make my fish a little yellowish though, but yeah, it does make my dreams a lot like vivid. I have a lot of dreams, but after doing those two things. So yeah, that means your diet is fixed, your sleep is fixed. Third thing is once you wake up, don't have coffee right away. I would definitely recommend you to look into Huberman, who covers why you shouldn't have coffee. But the gist is like delay your coffee after your first meal or at least 2 hours after you wake up. That means once you wake up, just open up your curtains and get the sunlight right away. That's what I do. I wake up, I open up the curtains, I get sunlight for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So that means there's enough sunlight that is coming to my eyes. I don't have to look at the sun directly, but looking at the sky, blue sky, or even if it's the cloudy sky, looking at it is enough for me to get enough sunlight in my eyes, and that like increases cortisol in my body. Cortisol is stress hormone, and once it increases, your body knows, okay, it's time, it's morning time, it's go time, and you will like stop feeling groggy at all once that happens, right? Wash your face, whatever, and that's pretty much the gist of it. The two things that you need to do. I would bonus tip, I would definitely recommend you to exercise frequently, maybe some really hard exercise. I'm into MMA, so I do like hard core workouts every 3 days at least every week, and that helps me a lot, like feeling really good in my body, energy wise. Basically, you don't have to do that, just get moving, just walk or run for at least an half an hour a day. That is pretty much pretty great. And preferably, like if you do it in the mornings, that will like definitely pump up your mood. It's like crazy. When I used to do that in the morning, it like pumps up my mood like crazy. So I definitely recommend you to try that out for 7 days. After that, if you fix everything that I said, like everything, not even missing a slightest bit of thing, and you still have like you can focus. Maybe you can focus. I fixed all of those, and I was able to focus. Let's say for an hour or two, but then my motivations would go down. So then I figured out like, okay, there's another problem that my one of my copywriting mentors helped me figure out, which was I had a gene defect that is called MTHFR, and it basically means your body cannot process folate properly. Folate is a very important nutrient that is required in your blood basically, and once your body cannot process folate, like it can process but it cannot process fully. So once you have that defect, like not everyone has it, like only 30% of the world's population has it. There's an easy test you can do is like go to 23andMe. I will list out the details in the description box below, but go to 23andMe, get an ancestry test. Then you have to put that ancestry test, like the data you get, into Genie data, or I don't exactly remember the name, and you will figure out what kind of gene defects you have and what if you have them or not. A lot of people have them, but just fixing those gene defects with the right supplements will like supercharge your focus. So once I tried like supplementing my once I started supplementing my body with folate and everything else that is required for the MTHFR, my like within 7 days, my focus and my energy levels, like mental energy levels, shot up through the roof. It's like insane. It's like being the difference between human and superhuman. It's like the difference between a child and a fully grown adult. Like it's insane. I can sit down and work for 10 hours. Like you can probably see the amount of energy I have right now. I woke up, let's say 5 hours ago, or maybe 4 hours ago, but I have a lot of energy right now because I'm like fully dialed in. Even if I don't take caffeine or whatever, I'm fully dialed in because I have fixed like everything that is needed for the human body, like my sleep, my diet, like my body getting all the nutrients. I fix everything, and like on the go mode all the time. And that is very important. If you can sit down and focus for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, your life is going to change. If you just focus on one thing for like months, life is going to change. It's going to do more than 180. It's going to do a 420. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everything that is required to completely eliminate your mental fog. I don't think I'm missing anything, but if I am, I'm probably not going to watch this video again, but if I am, I'm going to add this to the description or in the comment box. So just check those out. If you like this video, obviously like it. If you want more of these like esoteric self-improvement guides, subscribe to my channel or just look at my other videos or whatever that pops up in the video itself. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear from you. See you in another video. Peace.